The specific data sets X is asking for, your reaction to that?
Well, special thanks to Asia and everybody, reading the fine print and highlighting the things that are coming and being added, because that tells you something, right? And so, sure, there's the biometrics piece, and sure, he's clarified now that it's for, validating that they are who they say they are for these authenticated accounts, right? But, I think the fact that it's jobs, that it's education, right? Your job and your education tell you something, right? They tell you maybe your income, how they can influence you, but it's a demographic that provides, targeted marketing, I would say. And that's one reason they're capturing that, maybe why that's a new thing.
X talks about the impact this will have in countering impersonators on the platform. I myself have had impersonation accounts of me pop up on the platform several times in recent months. Do you give them the benefit of the doubt that will be an effective way of countering that?
I think that's what they're hoping for, but again, bad actors can always get around things, right? But the more trust we then put into this authenticated identity, the more risk there might be introduced to. So I'm remembering back, to like when the AP account was hacked and had said that, something happened at the White House and then the stock market crashed, right? So I think once you put more trust in it, too, is problematic. I think what we've learned over the past year since Musk is that centralization is inherently risky, and that maybe it's not a good idea to have so many professionals and journalists and everyone tied into the space, which is controlled essentially by an individual now. It was a corporation before, but there were issues under Dorsey and when it was corporate too. So I don't know. I think that, he's trying to solve for something, but the risks aren't necessarily new and they're not going away. But he is trying to get more people to stick around. And again, Twitter, X platform, whatever you want to call it now, it hasn't totally failed, right? So, but it has evolved. So I think we need to keep an eye on, how it's changing, how he's trying to retain people and to maybe generate some revenue.
X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, is the line that we repeat daily on this show, Bloomberg Technology. Yeah. Jennifer, there are certainly some jurisdictional and legal questions that arise from this policy move. I note that if you go to the policy page, the biometric data in particular is, quote, based on your consent as a user, but it is personally identifying information, and therefore I ask about GDPR in Europe and what you think will happen in that region.
Yeah. And so I like how Musk is clarifying that this is for the premium users, but there are class actions here, even in the United States, about the capture of biometrics data in like the state of Illinois. That's where that's most relevant because they have some unique kind of legislation there. But it wasn't really transparent that this is what they were doing as a company. But, photo scans are pretty standard. We saw issues with Meta Facebook as well in the past. And when it comes to Europe, they have definitely more privacy initiatives over there. We're way behind here in the United States. But GDPR essentially is about consent, so it's nice to know when something, really personal is being collected, but also the ability to like opt out of things. I don't know. I feel like this free Twitter app, if you're a free user, you're paying more and more with things like not being able to consent to certain things being collected about you. And maybe some people are like, whatever, I don't care, scan my face, or I don't care, track where I go on the internet. But it's what happens to that data in aggregate, right? And then who does Musk and other corporate actors share this data with? And I particularly am interested in, like, how do they share data with governments? So not just the United States, but also like Saudi Arabia, right? That is also an investor in Musk's enterprise. So, again, once that data is collected, these tools are created. The risks are essentially grow, sometimes without the public knowing. So I just want to raise some awareness around that too.
Jennifer, you raised the idea of the data being used in aggregate, and the other piece of news overnight is X offering video and audio call function without having to submit a cell phone number. You know, moving away from social media, your view on an everything app and the data relationship there.
It really is proving to be an everything app. He wants to collect everything on us, really. So the more data, the better. If they're making something like more squishy and loose, it's because they want you to contribute more. They're essentially lowering the barrier to entry, right? So I would say if you don't have to include a phone number, which again can be considered personal information, a lot more things are tied and validated through our cell phone numbers. So I would say that he wants to, maybe generate some more views and use of live streaming, the video apps, the voice, audio, and that can be collected too. So that's another biometric piece too. Is your voice has a print to it as well. So, and I think we have to really just continue to keep an eye on AI and how all of this data is being captured to train future models. So, again, the more voice that's submitted, the more that can be analyzed and used in the future, potentially even without our consent. So we just have to be careful, what we're contributing, and hopefully at some point we can get away from such centralized spaces that are governed by, wealthy folks like Musk or corporations, because it becomes really a target of intervention of governments and state actors. And that's just going to get oppressive for the people down the road.